Hey, girl.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How was your day today?
Amazing.
Good, good, good. I'm excited to be
What
here.
about you?
Good. Somebody's son finally decided they were going to feed me today.
Right. Yes.
Let's let people in here. I heard you say this is your first time going live. This is my first time going live, like, for real. Like, me and my friend have gone live before being silly. Like, never, like, seriously went live, like, waiting on people to actually watch what I have.
Yeah. I'm trying not to be like the person that be like, what they say?
Right.
And
I need glasses, so I know I'm going to be like, we got a question.
I'm trying not to do that, but I can see why.
Yeah,
like it goes.
But we got it. We got it, sis. We're going to get it together.
This is exciting. We have some really good news that we love, our passion. So, you know, I'm excited for everybody to hear.
Yes.
Let's see.
I'm excited too. It's a lot of face. Ooh. I got you used to it.
Right.
I got you used to it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now look.
Oh, guys. You're so nice. We're on God's favorite homegirl page. I need to follow all of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I see some of my followers too. This is cool.
Right. So you want to give it a couple of minutes? You want to... Oh, somebody said, let's see our shirt.
Oh. Yes.
God's favorite homegirl. And I love that the T is pink for the cross. It's so cute. It's so cute.
And I love a hoodie, so this is right up my alley.
Yes, all about the details.
I was like, let me put pants on. I don't want to be the one that think everybody see. And then she's talking about, let me see y'all shirts. I'm
right,
like,
gotta stand up.
Yes.
All righty. All right, so you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Keisha, you can pop it off.
Okay. So we're on God's favorite homegirl page, and I'm very thankful for this platform because Shelly has definitely allowed people with a voice, those have passion, and at the height of everything that's going on, I just think that this is the perfect platform to share all of this with like-minded individuals like yourself, girl. So my name is 𝐊𝐚𝐦𝐿 𝐪𝐿. I am the founder and owner of the Faith Project. We serve individuals who are being released from the penal system, whether that's jail or prison. Currently, I'm only serving males. I'm not serving females. We're going to get into that later. But currently I'm serving males, and I absolutely love it. I'm serving those that are 18 and up, and I have properties in DeKalb, Fulton, and Gwinnett County. So pretty much I just get them directly from jail and start their lives over, starting from getting their birth certificate to socials to learning how to use a smartphone. I had a client that asked me the other day where the fax machine at, and I'm like, hold up. So these are things that I have to remember. They've been in jail 8 years, some 18 years. So pretty much just starting them off with what is now. What is the now? How to get a job, how to apply for jobs. No, there's not paper applications no more. You know, here's a computer, here's a laptop, let's get it done. So I really love what I do. I started out serving on a board for a nonprofit organization as treasurer for 3 years, and then I just had so many different ideas, and they're like, you're not gonna change our organization, why don't you just do your own thing? So they served as my mentor, and I'm very thankful for them, and here I am. So I have a federally funded contract. I'm the youngest in Georgia with the contract, so I'm very thankful for that as well. Yes. And I'm just here to serve, you know, and like I said, at the height of everything that is happening right now, I think that this is a very important time for me to get out there and do more over and beyond from what I've normally done in the past.
And I also want to, one of the things that stood out to me that about your program is that she definitely, from what I've heard from Keisha, she makes sure that it's not even just about rehabilitation, it's rehumanization. And she makes sure that they're treated with respect in all aspects. Even the properties that she gets are like nice properties, so they don't feel like they're going to, if you've ever seen a halfway house that's kind of like sketchy looking, she makes sure that they're going home and they're getting that respect, and they feel like a human again, because the prison system, as we know, can make them feel like they are not human anymore. So
absolutely,
I'll give you all my introduction. My name is Kamaria Womack. I am an attorney here in Atlanta, Georgia. I was born and raised on the west side of Atlanta. Anybody who knows me knows, even when I graduated from law school, I threw up west side as they were studying me. Okay, so I am born and bred in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to Frederick Douglass High School, and as early as 9th grade, I started seeing my homeboys, started seeing my friends going in and out of jail. I knew a boy at 17, 18 years old already on his 3rd strike. And to me, that does not say something about him. It says something about the system. So that's what pushed me to go to law school. And I graduated in 2018. I graduated number 5 in my law school class.
Yes.
And so, I went with that passion, and I, although right now what I do is business law, because I when I left law school, I saw the need for that financial freedom, and I saw so many people that I knew from back in high school who might have been hustling, but now they want to have a business, and I'm that person you can come to and talk to me, and I'll tell you from beginning to end how to run a business and make it legitimate and have longevity, because Black people are creative. We have ideas, we are smart, we are dope, and it's time for us to capitalize off our own ideas. So that's where I come in that capacity. But I also do a lot of pro bono work and a lot of political work. So I've made a lot of pro bono work right now is actually, I work with a group of attorneys. It's about 6 of us. We all graduated from Atlanta John Marshall Law School. One went from Emory, but she started at HJMLS with us, but she graduated from Emory. But so we're working together to provide pro bono legal services for people who are arrested during these protests. So we really want to provide that because we know that it's so hard to get a job when something is on your record. So if you're getting arrested for fighting for your rights, that's the last thing we want to be on your record, and they count you out for. So we're really trying to make sure we represent them and provide free services for them. And outside of that, I'm also always in the community. You will see me at career days. You will see me doing Know Your Rights seminars at the Boys and Girls Club. Like, I'm so for it. I'm so for change. This movement, as sad as it might be some days when you wake up crying because you just hate it, you're so tired of it, I'm excited for it because I know if we keep this momentum up, change is on the way.
Yes, girl, I feel that too. I definitely do. And I think that it's so dope to see younger people doing it, especially with like the volunteer work. I know, at least for me, I always like, dang, I don't want to go to church and volunteer. You always thought it was the church group that was volunteering, but it's dope. Now you see DJs and you see, the young groups together and volunteering, and it's actually fun. You know, so I think that that's a change that we all needed, and even like the generation now, we're eager to see change. We're eager for the younger generations to come up and do it. Woo. So,
and Generation Z, that's a Generation Z. I thank them because this is their after school program. Okay, this is their summer camp. They said we are out here. We're not going home. We don't care what else y'all try to distract us with. They tried to say looting and robbing and all that stuff. That y'all handle that. That sounds like an APD problem. We still out here trying to get this protest and change, and they did not force them home. They did not discourage them. And so then us, the millennials, we're on the side where we're using now. We're on that professional setting. We've learned more of the system, and we've learned how to work it. So it's like Generation Z, y'all stay out there, and we're gonna come in on the back end and help y'all out. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Right.
I'm loving it.
Right.
So I was gonna say something else about the protest. So I actually wanted to slide in just a little bit of laws pertaining to the protest.
Oh, good.
All right. So
I need to write this down too.
Look, so a few things about protests. So one, just understanding your rights while you're out there. You have the freedom of speech. That is something that they cannot take away from you. And you have to pay attention to how police are treating you when you're out there in the streets. A lot of times people will say, well, you should have just listened to what the police officer said as justifying why a police officer uses excessive force. They don't get that free reign. They do not get free reign to just, because you disobeyed them, now they get to beat on you and hit on you. That's not okay. So when we look at these protests, they have to use reasonable force. The amount of force has to be reasonable to the offense. And that is what it is. So for example, let's say you were marching and they said, okay, it's 9 o'clock. It's time for y'all to go home. Now you're walking to your car, but you might turn around and say, and F the police. That does not give the police free reign to come and hit you. As long as you were still walking towards your car, they cannot touch you. They cannot arrest you. You have not done anything to them by saying F the police. You have not threatened their life, nothing. They do not get to touch you. The only time they can start pushing and shoving is if you refuse to move. And even with that, they cannot tase and start. They can't tase. They can't do things like that, because what happens is now you've exceeded that reasonable limit. If I was going to move, if you had to push me and then I start walking, okay. They have to match what the offense is. So that's something to keep in mind. But I also say this to say, you have to pick and choose when you want to assert those rights. Because a lot of times, the best time to assert those rights are once you've made it home safely and you call your attorney, you tell your parents if you're younger, and you make sure you report. Because a lot of times what happens is if you respond combatively, now they get to become even more combative. And now your life becomes in danger. And then also they have the power of the pen. So that's just something you really like. The police officer, when it comes to whose side they're gonna take, they're definitely gonna like lean towards what a police officer says. So it's more for you to stay calm, don't resist, just stay as calm. And of course, stay. It's hard because you're a human being, but like as much as you can, stay controlled so that you're not feeding into the fuel, because a lot of times police officers have a pride problem. And they have a pride problem. And they think because they are police, you are supposed to listen to them with no attitude. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. And that's not what their position in society is supposed to be. So that's something to keep in mind. That's something to keep in mind, and make sure you're keeping in mind. You're supposed to, I'm sorry, the comments, I'm seeing folks that I know, I'm like, hey, y'all. So, you want to keep in mind everything that they're doing to you from beginning to end. So you may not be able to play on it in that moment, but make sure you report, and that goes into, and we'll talk about accountability as well, and holding accountable. So what we can't do is they do this stuff and we go home and complain about it, and then that's it. The only way we're going to get change is if we go home and we report and we get attorneys and we put that pressure on them, because we can't let it happen and then we go home and we're like, man, that was lame. And
but now we got the cameras, but it still seems like they don't even care that people have cameras anymore.
And
I guess they have gone so many years with getting away with it. They feel like they'll be able to do that.
Exactly.
Because they have their counterparts that's going to vouch for them.
They have their brotherhood. The police is a brother. They literally have a fraternal brotherhood that supports police officers. But that is why the voice of the people is so important. And even when we look at these protests, the protests have actually had laws change. Like there are new budget cuts when people have been out here protesting and saying defund the police. That's happening. That's happening in LA. And look, I took my notes. I didn't want to get the figures right. The LA mayor proposed cutting up to $150 million of the $3 billion budget for the police. And Minneapolis city council has pledged to disband the city's police and instead go with a community-built, community-based, patrolling. So, you know, these are things that.
What does that look like? I mean, I'm naive to that. I don't know what that means. When you defund the police, does that mean that you're like cutting their pay? Are you picking who is now going to be police officers? Like we're voting? Like what does that look like?
So every state will probably have their own plan and how it happens. But when we defund the police, the main thing is we're taking away how much money we're putting into militarizing police. They are putting millions and millions of dollars into the police instead of putting millions and millions of dollars into resources that can help us not need as much police. You know, like so many people go to prison, and you know this, so many people go to prison because of the lack of money and the lack of resources in their community. So they had to start hustling. They started moving because mama can only make so much money when, you know, daddy already in jail. Then mama is working 3 jobs, still not making ends meet. So of course now I'm out here hustling. But let's say if we took that money away from the communities that are over policed and now put that money into funding their education and providing them more, let's say, more social welfare. Because, you know, people talk about food stamps and things like that, but that's money that, based on the way this system is set up, we deserve it. Give me my food stamps. So, yeah. And it's putting more money into the community, putting more money into the resources. So when you're driving down the street and you're 1997 Honda Corolla, but you see a police officer in a 2020 Charger riding past you, you like, something though.
Girl, them 97, them Honda still rolling though. That's one thing about it.
But you know, it just don't make sense that all of them they're whipping around, and it's not about the police officers' salaries. It's about what they're putting into the policing itself. And what upsets me is like, and it's even going to change the criteria of who becomes a police officer. That changes as well right now. I was doing research on how police officers become police. One thing that's very interesting, they only have to do 3 hours of community relations. And those 3 hours can be online. What? So I wrote this paper in 2017, 2018. So maybe they've increased it since then. But it was 3 hours of community, basically community relations. And they only had 3 hours of it, and you can do it online.
I mean, what would they increase it to? 5? I mean, like, that is insane. Yeah, I did not know that. Yeah, these are the reasons why I was going to share this story when you spoke about, you know, being fair and how people are being arrested for charges that don't even, I guess the punishment don't fit the crime, for lack of better words. So one of my clients who, I mean, is just near and dear, this story will forever be in my life. He was arrested for taking police on a high-speed chase. He stole a vehicle. All right? Stole a vehicle, took police on a high-speed chase. And when he was arrested, he got up paralyzed in a wheelchair. Now, if you're driving a vehicle on a high-speed chase, next thing you know, you're in a wheelchair. It's like is still fighting now for that. I received him because I was the only house in Fulton County with wheelchair accessibility. And he was just extremely upset. He's learning how to do all this stuff, like learning how to use the bathroom, to clean himself and all of that, those things. But he was driving a vehicle when he got arrested. And as he was in prison, he's going through like trying to speak to people. They put him in a hole because he's trying to, you know, argue with this person for not allowing him to have a voice, and they're not sending his letters out to different attorneys. And it was just awful. So these are things that, you know, people always tell me, like, why are you dealing with people that's been arrested? They criminals, they've been in prison. But come on now, they're doing things that they got arrested for, but God, grace and mercy held us from some of the things that they've done. You know, so I'm not a judgmental person. I never have been. So I just don't understand why we can't allow them, like give them a helping hand. I also have another client who is extremely successful now, and he's gone through my program, and he got caught up in college. you know, serving drugs on college campus, weed or whatever, you know, not saying that it's right, but these are crimes that I feel like the punishment did not fit the crime. This guy wasted his entire life in prison for some weed, what is now legal, you know, and both of these are, you know, Black and brown guys who I feel like did not get a fair chance. And of course, their stories won't be heard, but these are some of the things that we're going through right now and why the demonstrators are, you know, so eager to see the change.
And it's and I'm glad you said that. That's some of the things, because I know a lot of people, there's still a whole community of Black people that are not being heard, even with all of this. There's still a whole marginalized community within the Black community. And that's when you have to go deep. You have to know the people, like the people that you know, the people that I know from my community, people who have been left out of the conversation, which this will actually affect them more than anybody, because they're in the communities that are being over policed. And so what I've been doing is trying to talk to some of my friends, because for them, they've been dealing with mistreatment from the police for so long, they can't even see it being any other way. They're almost to the point where they say, well, he should have just, you know, did what they told him to do, because they've gotten to a point of defeat. Because it's like, well, you know, I'd rather just worry about getting money than being worried about this. But it's so many levels to it. But what I will say is, when I've been talking to them, I'm finding that I have to stress the fact that we're not just marching for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud and Trayvon. It's not just them. They are symbolic of something much bigger. Yeah. And so that's something, if you're ever, and this is to everybody listening, if you're ever talking to somebody, especially somebody who comes from a very marginalized community, and you feel like they're not getting it, and you're like, I don't understand how they can't get that. It's because they have already seen this, and it just was not televised. They have been seeing this since they were teenagers. So it's like they're not understanding like, how did this guy get this rally, but my homeboy got nothing and he got killed. So it's like, you know, you have to explain them and make them understand that, like, this is for something bigger. This is for something bigger. And we care about all of y'all. Like, it's not just George Floyd that we care about. We care about all of y'all, and we want to change the way your communities have been impacted by the over policing. And for example, I was talking to one of my best friends. Shout out to Jasmine. Hey girl, if you're on here. So I was talking to one of my best friends, and she was telling me her little brother was kind of like, you know, I don't care about none of all this. Like, police gonna be what they gonna be. My homeboy was killed, this, and that, you know, like, the police killed him. We couldn't even get it on the news. But the thing was, it was no recording, and the police officers that killed him were Black.
So it's not just,
they feel like it's not racist. Like, you're only gonna get this big outcry when it's a white person killing a Black person, but that's changing, and it has to change, because the problem is not the color of the police officers, it's the policing itself. And so racism comes with power. You could be prejudiced, you can just not like me because of the color of my skin, but if you don't have power, you're not really racist. You're just walking around, like, you know, that's why most white people can be racist, because they have a level of privilege in society. They have a privilege associated with their skin color. But Black people can be racist when they're police officers, because they have the power. So if you're targeting Black and brown communities, if you are a Black police officer and you're over policing in Black communities and then abuse your power as a police officer, you are a racist police officer. And that just is what it is. You are a racist police officer, despite when you look in the mirror and you're Black. If you choose to over police and abuse your power more so in Black communities than you would dream of doing in a white community, you are a racist Black police officer. So that is what it is. And so I get why so many people who are outside of, like, who are not necessarily young professionals in the sense of college educated and everything. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. Your voice still matters. Your voice still matters. And those stories still deserve to be heard, and they still deserve to be protected. And that's the type of stuff we have to unveil. And that's why I talk to them, so I can hear those stories, so I can be the vessel to share those stories, so people understand this is not new. When everybody was saying, oh, Atlanta's so black, why y'all treating APD like this? You know, and I know. APD is not innocent.
They are not.
I almost forgot. When I saw the post, I was like, you know, I do kind of feel bad for APD. And then my friend who is shout out Amanda, my friend who is a criminal defense attorney, I just sent it to her in a voice note. I was like, am I tripping? Because why APD getting treated so bad? And she was like, girl, APD is horrible. You're thinking killing? And we don't really see that. Well, not to say they don't, but you don't see it broad.
Yeah.
About the killing. But she had to remind me the over policing, the mass incarceration. As soon as she said that, I remember Bankhead. I said, oh, I sure forgot. I was like, the police was so around us everywhere we went. We at the park. They fussing at us at the park. You try to go to Piedmont Park. Ooh, don't go outside of your neighborhood and try to be in the park. Keep it moving. You just constantly, the police just treat you different because you're black, and especially when you're black and young, they're just on you all the time, and you just don't get any type of grace, leeway, anything. You see young white teenagers skateboarding, they pick up spray paint, they do all of that, and it's a slap on the wrist.
And it's art.
It's art. What's it called over? It's for vandalism over in where we
at. Yeah. And to your point, like, I have to advocate for my guys too, going to probation and parole office. Oh, Miss Wilson, they ain't returning my phone calls. They said they're gonna lock me up because I ain't calling, but you know I called them. I would literally have to go to these appointments with them and wait. They don't know who I am. When they see me, they probably like, okay, she's maybe on probation, she's waiting with them. And they talk to them nasty any kind of way. They don't allow them to speak, you know, like, it's just like they're trash. Yes, okay, they're criminals, but what have you done too? You know, I always try to go back to that because it's like nobody is perfect. And some of my guys, like, I'm very strategic with who I accept into my program because I want to make sure that they are ready for success. And you know, I'm very strategic, like I said, with who I choose. So when I go into these appointments with them, I see how they're talked down to. I see how even the employers talk to them crazy, even though they have posted we're felon friendly, but you're not hiring them based on the type of felony it is. And that's just is counterproductive. So it takes a lot for me not to get ugly back with them, right? But I have to show them, like, if you're gonna have this posted and this is the type of organization you are, don't just say it, you know, for the glam of it all. Say that you're gonna hire felons and then you really don't. You're really judging them, or you're not paying them what you should pay them. You know, and that's just really difficult to see it happening when I'm actually in the trenches with them. So, you know, I understand, and I'm in one of my properties is in Fulton County as well, and that is one of the worst counties that I have to deal with. And a lot of people even contact me after the fact, like, Miss Wilson, who you know at such and such place that can help me with this and help me with that. And I'm always on the phone trying to help because they don't return their phone calls, but they'll return a phone call from somebody else. And that's
why you're so important. You're so important because you're advocating for them, because without you, who knows how they would be treated? You know, without you going in and saying, like, hold on, wait a minute. They have somebody in their corner. And so then attitudes change in the way. And I feel the same way with being an attorney. You know, when I pop up, it's like, oh, you got an attorney? Okay, things got to change. Things got to switch up. So being that advocate is so important, because without you, just Lord knows how they would be treated. And so it's unfortunate, but that's the type of work that all of us need to do. Like, anybody who's in that position, all of us need to be there to advocate for rehabilitation. Because I actually was looking at a stat, and from it might have been 2016 or something like that, but it was 1 out of 4 men who had been incarcerated would be back in jail within the first 3 years.
Oh yeah.
And so, and the number one reason was because they could not find a job.
Yeah,
because
housing or
treated
job.
like trash. And so now, because they come out on the outside and everyone's treating them like they might as well still be criminals, it's like they're forced to go back into a criminal activity to even put food on the table.
It's survival crimes. You know, breaking in a spot to get some food, or, you know, robbing or stealing from your cousin to get $20 because you need a gas money, things like that. And I see it happen all the time. You know, stealing cigarettes. It's just survivable crimes. It's not that I'm saying that it's right, but these are the reasons why we have to provide wraparound services from day one. I love to get them as soon as they get out, because they eager. Like, they're damn near painting a whole house with some Q-tips, because they're ready they're ready to like do something.
People sleeping because they're like you said, they're ready to prove a point. They coming to work. They are coming to work because what they're trying. They don't want to go back to prison. Don't nobody want to go back to prison. If you've been there for a long stint, no one wants to go there. But if society, and that's everyday people, it's small business owners out here. It's not just the government who does that. It's just the way society is built,
right?
And the way society treats ex-cons and felons, and even by like they're almost like called a felon before they're called their name, or like, you know, like it's like, oh yeah, he a felon, he an ex-con. Like that's what we take that as their whole identity now, and there's so much more than that. So it's very important, like you said, to understand survival crimes. And so that it's so unfortunate. But what, like I was telling you before, one thing that I want to do with my law firm, and you know, after talking to you, is go over and, like you said, you do roundtables and you talk to them, and I want to talk to them about entrepreneurship, because that's a really good avenue.
Oh, that's gold.
It's a great avenue for people who have been incarcerated, because they don't have to deal with the discriminatory behavior. They don't have to deal with people treating them any type of way because they know their background and their history. And so I want to be that type of person that they can come to, because like I told you, like I tell people, Kamaria get love from the office to the trap. So I got friends everywhere. So when I have my friends who are ready to move from moving a certain type of way to becoming legitimate, I'm ready. I want to help them with that. I want to be that person, because it's very hard and it's intimidating when you're trying to go to an attorney and they're talking to you like you should already know certain stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I got plenty of plenty of people who have come to me use the term, I got to get down to the bottom of what they're trying to say, but it doesn't matter, because once we get there, let's get to work. I'm not going to look down on you. I'm not going to be like, what? They talking about an LLC and they calling it a business, some. Okay, they don't know that. I will tell you, I went to law school not even really knowing what the bar exam was, or that I had to take a bar exam. Like, I ain't know nothing, so I cannot come out of this like getting all this information and now I'm treating people like they should just know it. But I know there's been times, I know I had to go talk to an attorney before I became a lawyer for something. I can't, probably personal injury. And it just felt intimidating because you just throwing these words at me. And I'm like, I don't know what they talking about, but you like, yeah,
you're right.
I trust you. So my clients know that when they come to me, we're going to talk about it. I want you to leave empowered with knowledge.
Good.
I want you to leave understanding, and I break it down to where it doesn't feel like something that's so discouraging, because starting a business can be discouraging. So I try to break it down in steps. So you're like, okay, I can tackle that first part this week, then that second part next week. And I let them know, like, it's okay. I know you want to start this business tomorrow. You don't have to. You can take your time. So that's something that from talking to you, I was like, that is definitely something I want to do, want to work with you on helping them if they've been working as a mechanic under somebody else and they're ready to, like, you know what, I'm ready to branch out on my own because he always talking to me kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm ready to branch out on my own.
Let me tell you, Kamaria, they are the best workers ever. And I always challenge entrepreneurs and businesses to hire them, give them a try. They are the best workers. They're so eager to prove a point. And they've been, you know, incarcerated for X amount of years. They're ready to work.
They're ready to work.
So I have not had any type of kickback. And I have a really good friend who's hired a few of my guys. And he said they're some of the best workers as well. And I just challenge people to give it a try. Don't just look at it on a surface level, you know, because like I said, we've all fallen short, and God's grace and mercy has brought us to whatever point we're at. But just give it a try. And I thank you for even being willing to do that, because I know that this would be something, especially because of their background, you know, them having a challenging background. Entrepreneurship might be the easiest route for them to go, and to make a certain salary, because
exactly,
you know, they can't be getting paid minimum wage all their life and have a family and be grown men and women.
Exactly. And this actually makes me think about something that I was gonna share with everybody, as far as, and I know I'm skipping around. We had notes, y'all, but we just doing our thing.
Yeah.
But so one thing that I wanted to stress for the listeners, for you, and it's the way to keep this moving and to keep this changing is paying attention to the laws on the state level. On your state level, your local laws, those are the laws that's going to really impact you on a day-to-day. And so the legislatures are going back to the capital of Georgia Capitol. They had to stop because of coronavirus. So they ended the session early. So they're going back on June 15th. And there are some bills that we need to stop. There are bills that we need to stop. I want to give y'all, what is it? HB 994. This is the anti-gang bill. It is going to expand the amount of crimes that juveniles can be tried as adults for. So they're expanding the definition of gang. They're trying to expand the sentencing for being a part of a gang. So those are the type of bills that we have to stay abreast to. So if people who are still out there marching, that's the information I want to. Somebody said we love to see the notebook. I'll be serious, y'all. So the fact that,
that's funny.
And this was something Brian Kemp decided he wanted to have passed. So they haven't voted on it yet. It hasn't been passed. But these are the type of bills we have to be pay attention to. We have to know what they're doing up there at the Capitol, because if something like this gets passed, like you said, this could ruin somebody 13 years old being a part of a gang. Now they're going to jail for who knows how long. And when they come out, the trajectory of their life, they don't get that. Their life stops at 13 because of an anti-gang bill. And to expand the definition of gang scares me. Right. Because what you mean expand the definition of gang? Kids being cliques. I remember. Yeah. I was at 𝐾𝐶 Express. Was I a part of a gang? Like, you know, so to expand that definition is so dangerous. Yeah. And to open it up to where teenagers can now be tried as adults for even more crimes. It's already enough. I want to say armed robbery in Georgia, minimum sentence, no matter how old you are, is 10 years. Like something crazy.
I have a lot of armed robbery cases. Yep.
And again, I know some people will look at it and be like, well, they shouldn't have been doing da-da-da-da-da. But this is why we want to defund the police and put money into programs, into communities. Because you won't, look at places like Canada, other countries, they don't need as much police because they actually educate the kids. They actually make sure people are eating. They actually make sure people have livable wages. Because I truly believe if you go to work 40 hours out the week, I don't care if you at McDonald's, I don't care if you at Family Dollar, you should not have to worry about paying your rent. Yeah. And that's on period, poo. But I'm like, if you go to work, why are you worried about paying your rent? That's unfair. And that's when the policing comes, because survival crimes are the biggest types of crime. Absolutely. You don't find, people aren't just out here being sociopaths and serial killers. Like, that's not the majority of people in jail.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not it.
I see it happening all the time. That's so funny. I love these comments.
I know the comments keep popping up, and I'm like, crack it up.
But yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, I even tell my guys, look, go get 2 and 3 jobs. I want you to be so tired that you can't even do nothing.
Think about doing this.
Yeah, you ready to come home and go to sleep. So
exactly.
I'm glad you just mentioned those new laws, and then on a state level. I think those are some of the things that we're now learning, and I say we because I'm learning them as well as I deal with certain types of offenses and what those laws look like and what needs to change. So I challenge everyone as well to research the state laws too.
And the way to change state laws is to be up there at that Capitol. It's to call the representatives, find out your representatives' names, call those senators, find out your senators' names, find out email address, and let them know, I vote no to this. I do not agree to this, and go to the Capitol. We've seen protests work. Protests work. They work.
It definitely does.
You know, everybody was complaining, well, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? It has done a lot. You see in New York where now, what is it, Amy Cooper bill? Her name is on the name of the bill. Y'all gotta stop calling the police on Black people for no reason.
Yeah.
That is now a hate crime. And there's a hate crime bill in Georgia that we need to get passed. That is a bill that we want to see get passed, because the hate crime will stop a lot of this unnecessary harassment of Black people. So those are the type of bills we have to be on the lookout for. And don't just learn it. You know, you got to go and follow through by creating a protest, going up to and I'll give y'all the rules on the protest, because your protest does not have to be, let me tell you, your protest, you don't even need a permit to protest in the city of Atlanta if it's going to be less than 75 people, and if it's only going to covering about 2 blocks, less than 2 blocks. So, and actually, let me just give y'all the exact wording. I'm trying not to put, okay, so when do you need a permit to protest in Atlanta? If 2 of these 3 things are met. So if you have more than 75 people, if the event will travel more than 2 blocks on a city street, and if the moving portion of the event will take longer than 1 hour. So I say that.
Okay.
If it's less than 75 of y'all and you want to go stand in front of the Capitol and say, vote no, you can do that. You don't have to wait on anybody else. You don't have to wait on the NAACP to tell you to go outside. You don't have to wait on the city of Atlanta to approve you to go outside. You go out there and you say, we're voting no. And like, I need my representatives to hear me say no. So those are the type of things that we can do on our own. So when you research these bills, when you hear about these bills, you're like, okay, this one I am adamantly against. Me and my homegirls, we're going to head on over to the Capitol with our posters and make it happen. So you don't have to wait on anybody else to start with this change. And that's why I actually want an action group, and I'm recruiting. So if y'all are watching this and you want to, you feel compelled to go to action, I'm looking for an action team, because there's only one of me. And if you can hear, I am passionate about a lot of different things. So I want a group of people who are also ready for action. So if I was to say, like, y'all, they voted for a bill tomorrow, we got to get out there. I want a crew of people who I already know, like, got my group chat.
Yes.
Okay, post.
Y'all ain't got nothing to do.
Out there. Look, post is ready. Let's head on out there.
Okay.
And that actually reminds me, I was even thinking last night, because on the topic of voting, that voting was atrocious.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Even the question about do we feel like people who have served time should be able to vote, should have the right to vote. Those things are very important to me, and I hope people feel the same way. You know, I just, it's probably about, how many questions was on there? About 40?
That's what made me so mad. I counted it at the end, and y'all, I think it was 46, 47 things on there. And I said, what regular, everyday person could be well versed on all of this. That was an exam. That was an exam, and that was so unfair to the people. And not only an exam, but during a pandemic, and y'all hit us during racial unrest, like, and y'all gave us 50 things to vote on. That was ridiculous. But I said, if that's how they want to play it, that's where me and my action team will come right in. We're gonna break it up. I'm gonna give 5 is what 10 people. Everybody take 2. Everybody take 2 or 3 positions, and we read about it and we research about it, and we come back and we come together. We'll do a forum, and we'll make sure our people are well versed on who we're voting for, because I had no idea all those people were on the ballot. People always call me on voter day because they know I'm all about this. They like, okay, so who we voting for? I said, y'all, I know 3. When I walked out of there, I said, oh Lord, y'all, I thought it was only gonna be like 10. I said, I'm sorry, y'all. I saw one little meme, like a funny video. They said, if the taxes go up, don't blame me. I was this. And I felt the same way, and it really upset me because this stuff is so important. This stuff really, really affects us on a day-to-day basis.
At our front door. Yep.
This is the stuff that we really got to focus on. Of course, federal, that's important too. But what's really going to affect us is that local. That local government is very important. Mm-hmm. So I just really didn't like the way they did it, but I said that. We got so funny. I see what y'all doing. We gonna switch it up, and so we will too, because we're not gonna let them. Because for me, I was upset because our people fought long and hard to be able to vote, and I never want to go in there where I'm just, like I don't want to just guess, but I felt like you had to, you had to, because who can know 50. 47 positions. Nobody. And legislative questions like, what is this? And then the local news. And I remember I was on the phone with my friend when I was headed in. I said, you know what? It's fine. I'll start a podcast. Because I ain't even gonna trip. I'm gonna start a podcast because this was real lame.
Yeah, so that's what we need to do, though. We have to, everybody's always on their phones. That is the best way for people to get this information. Not a lot of people have the time to read all of those things and research and remember and to share with their friends. So I think platforms like this, the podcast, starting some type of coalition of people where, like you said, researching it and then coming together and sharing their findings is a very, very good idea.
I think so, too. I think that's what'll really affect change, because you want to make sure that your vote is counted, but actually matters, and you were able to really vote the way because I felt uncomfortable leaving out, knowing that I had just kind of had to guess on so many things. Like, I was on my phone like, who black? Whoever is black. I was Googling.
What school she went to? Okay, HBCU, cool.
What school she went to? Okay, all right. Hopefully that's progressive. And I hate it.
Clicking on images. Oh, she got some cute shoes. Oh, okay, cool. No, that's we're joking, y'all, but these are things that I'm sure other people thought about as well. So That's why it is important that we do our research and proper due diligence. So yeah.
It is. It's so important. And so I think that's why I think the momentum will continue to move, because once your eyes are open, it's very hard to close them again. Mm-hmm. Once you're awake, in the morning, once you up, it's kind of hard to fall back asleep. When somebody come and wake you up, it's hard, because now you know. And because that's where that next step comes in. That's why I'm so adamant about creating that action team and following these bills so that we can come in and say, no, I'm calling my representative and saying I am adamantly against that. Even if where you live, your representative is a Republican, call them. So what? Call them. Be out there and let them know, because bills like bills like HB 994, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. To expand the definition of gang and then it affect 13 to 17-year-olds, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, and that's people of all races, guys. Don't just think we talking about black and brown. Like, that affects Republicans and Democrats. So
it does.
I just don't think that's not. I don't see that. It affects generations. A 13-year-old, then their son, their kids, all of that. It affects more than just that one person. So we have to keep that in mind.
And as much as look, you love your project, but I'm sure you would love if at the end you don't have to have so many people who need this.
Yep.
So, okay.
Thanks, Shelly.
Well, so Keisha, let people know how they can help you.
Okay, so I'm kind of, you know, the same way that you were thinking, just getting a coalition of people together. I personally need people who can serve as mentors. Who can serve as mentors, who can write resumes for people, who can educate people on job etiquette, basically how to do interviews, how to write resumes, what should they look like, even from a man, because I only service males at this point. So mentorship is definitely very important. And it's not like I'm looking for people who have degrees in psychology or whatever, but just picking up the phone and just talking to them about their day or some of the challenges that they may have faced. A lot of times people don't want to come to me because I haven't served time before. They feel like I might not understand where they're coming from. I'm female, I'm younger. So it's always very important to me to just have extra person for them to talk to outside of just myself, because I hear all types of stories, and some of them I can just be a listening ear. Some of them just want to talk. They don't want advice. They just want to vent. They want to cry. They want to hug, things like that. So I really would love to see a group of people who can I'm sorry, I'm looking at the comments, who can help with that. I do want to get into meditation as well. That's something I have started to do myself. So people who are into meditation or yoga, who can come in and hold some classes, or I can get them all together and we can just hold like some type of meditation or yoga class. That would be very important. And also teaching them about natural herbs and different remedies outside of you know, medication. They're taking different prescriptions. So those are some of the things that I would need help for, and just volunteers in general. Yes.
And also remember, people who have small businesses, people who own their own business, they can hire people.
Absolutely.
That's very important.
That will, yes, absolutely. That will give it a try, guys. Like I actually, like I said in the beginning, I screen my residents before they come in. I know who's capable of what. I know who's ready and eager. So I don't just send people out just to say they have a job. I want to make sure that I continue to have a really good relationship with the companies that I partner with. So I will make sure that you guys have some, you know, good candidates that can come work for you. So those are some of the things, the immediate needs that I may have.
And tell them how they can find you and reach out.
Yes. So it's the Faith Project. So it's DFP. And Shelly, if you can add this some type of way, but it's dfp.org. DFP, the Faith Project on Instagram as well. You can follow us there. And info@dfp.org is another way too. But Instagram is easier, you know, if that's good for you guys.
All right.
What about you?
Also, for me, like I said, I'm looking for a team of people who are ready for that action on the legislative side. People who want to protest, people who want to go and make those phone calls, people who want to, you can type it in at the bottom.
This is my first time live, y'all, so I'm like, what are they talking about? Oh, thank you. I see she put it on here.
There it is.
Okay.
We done flipped the camera. Where you go, Keisha?
How I do it? Wait, y'all.
Didn't we say we were going to try not to be
there we go.
You said you was going to try not to be that person. But
thank you.
You all can follow me at @𝐾W Law Office. So that's my law firm page. And what I'm looking for, I just want people who are ready for action. Like I said, when those bills are coming across at the Capitol, I'm trying to keep my ear to that so I can be right up there making phone calls, telling representatives that vote no. We do not want these bills. And then also, like I said, I'm always in the community. So I always have something I can do to help the community, whether it's career days, whether it's just a random day of mentorship. and we got to talk because I really am looking. I wanted a yoga instructor because I wanted to do praise and peace and praise. So doing yoga while playing gospel music. So, but I don't know how to
amazing.
teach yoga. So if any yoga teachers are out there, that's a program you can bring to the Faith Project. So it's just I'm looking for an action team, people who, especially on that legislative side, just so we can stay on top of what's going on locally. So again, you can follow me at 𝐾𝐤 Law Office, and Instagram is probably the best way. And if you want to email me, it's contact@𝐾𝐤LawOffice.com.
Awesome.
Yes, well,
this was amazing.
I know I had fun, and thank you so much, God's favorite homegirl, for even considering us to talk, and thank you for everybody who listened. Like, you know,
she's telling me to save this live, but I'm like,
okay.
I'm gonna figure it out. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Kamaria, I'm gonna be looking on your page for more information about some of these laws.
Yes.
Some of these laws that you should be looking out for as well.
Please do. All right. Thank y'all so much. I hope everybody learned something.
All right. See y'all later.
See
Bye.
ya.